Shalom. All right, it's really coming together now. I looked up Matthew 25 to read the parable of the virgins, and I got to the parable afterwards, and that's the bags of gold and the investment and of that, and don't bury it one. And on the surface, it looks like those two parables have nothing to do with each other, except they both describe the kingdom somehow. But they are both references to Psalm 19. And last night I thought I gotta take down my video on how much oil is enough, because not only does it have nauseating parts, it is completely missing the mark. Okay, we've got Psalm 19, okay, and it talks about how the heavens pour forth speech and they reveal knowledge, and then it focuses on the sun, from verse 4 to 6, it's all about the sun. And no surprise, Malachi and the Son of Righteousness, S-U-N, Shemesh, or Shamash, which either one. I'm getting there. It's the same word. They just stick in different vowel tones to make it a different word. So, helper and something. Okay. Getting there. So then, verses 7 through 9 describe what the heavens speech says, what it's for. It's the law of the Lord, the statutes of the Lord, the precepts of the Lord, commands of the Lord. There's commands of the Lord. And by the way, in Revelation, he says something about those who love me and keep my commands. Well, of course everyone is concerned about that as a Christian, because you're like, well, aren't we made righteous by his blood? Like, what does he mean, those who keep commands? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, actually it does, because the commands are the above frequency that you're supposed to be tuned in from within. It guides your behavior and your thoughts and everything else, whether you're aware of it or not. And in fact, if you're not aware of it, even better, because you can't try to do this if you don't know you're tuned in to something. So anyway, keeping the commands is dying to self such that you are not keeping the commands of the low dirge frequency of the material experience. You're in the world, but not of that frequency, or that music. It's not just one frequency, it's a score. So you have to die to self to not be subject to this world. You're subject to the kingdom within, which is the symphony of above. So that's keeping his commands and his laws and his statutes and the precepts and the decrees. And it has nothing to do, as we know, with the written word. That's the living word, is what is poured forth by the above. They use no word that reveal knowledge. So then you have, this is where we're getting to these parables, then you have the comparison of this symphony, and being, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me wherever I go. That's this. Like the Pied Piper with his music. Which director are you following? The director of this world, the opposition, or within the U-inverse? Thank you, Robert Grant, for that understanding. Okay, so they are more precious than gold, than much pure gold. Okay, so the oil, Shemen, Semen, Shamash is the sun, Shem. The character of God is the oil, the symphony. Now, he doesn't have a birth chart. He's the whole symphony all the time. So that's the Shem. And Shemen, oil, is the seed. It's the what comes down, the semen. And then, like I said, Israel is the land of white and sticky. Israel is getting the semen from above and bearing fruit. So the sun, as David speaks of, speaks specifically of the sun, is the tent peg. It's the connector between here's the helper part. The sun is the helper in that it's the go-between of the above ruach, the wind that you can't perceive from way down here, down the ladder of the dimensions. So what the sun does is it takes the third heaven, the fifth dimension, ruach, and it becomes the second heaven go-between. It's the helper. It sends the message. And it's the loudest voice. It's the director of music, the sun. And it impacts the entire symphony. It's the melody. It drives where the where the symphony goes. So Shem, that's why that's name, because the birth chart is what they use to name their kids. So they took a snapshot of the symphony, like a sound bite of the symphony at the time that baby was born. It's just I can name that note and name that song in one note, and that ends up being name their tune. They name that tune. They name that kid. So here we have the parables. We've got the parable of the 10 maidens now. Tiffany found that it really doesn't say there won't be enough for you and us if we share. She found it really says we can't share what we have. And I believe that that's the oil that lights your lamp. That is the light of the world coming down the ladder and expressing in you from the unseen above to the helper to you, or your manifestation of the whole. And then you are the light of the world. The lamp doesn't go out because you get a continuous supply. You're connected through the helper to the above, the unseen, unheard, ears to hear, eyes to see. So the others are told to go to the dealers. Now, who would that be? Oh yeah, the astrologers who use charts and ephemeris books. And I likened it the other day to the armor that Saul wanted to give David to defeat Goliath, and David's like got this get up, heavy, horrible get up on this tool to cause him to succeed. And he's like, I can't move, I can't breathe, I can't function in this thing. Get it off me. And he went out and did it naked, essentially. And that's the wise virgins. They do it without the charts. They do it without doing it. But the unwise ones, the ones, see, unwise, they don't have the knowledge being revealed. They're not wise. They don't have the connection and receiving this day after day. They pour forth their speech and they reveal knowledge. They're the unwise ones. They don't have this Shemen oil. So going off to the dealers is going to astrologists and paying them. That's what people do. And they apparently have done for millennia, to do their chart and tell them who they are and all that from the chart. Well, it's too late then. As we've discovered, if you are getting your own oil without help, without a human intermediary who can read the charts, then you are actually ahead of the astrologers. It happened every time. That's how I first started putting together that, astrology is real, because every new moon report that was put up online by really good astrologers a few days ahead of the new moon so that people could know what to do. They were the dealers talking to the unwise, because I heard the report and I was like, well, I just thought of all that yesterday, like days before this new moon. Like, how did that happen? And the same with the full moon. So every 2 weeks I was like, something weird's going on. This very specific energy I'm processing before it gets here. Like, how's that going on? So I asked one, and I said, for the last year, that's a lot of experiences with a new and a full moon. I said, I am clearly processing these energies before they get here. And she said, no, you're very energetically sensitive. So as soon as the energy starts ramping up, you hear it. Well, I just thought I was, ahead of the curve. No, I'm the wise virgin that does not need to go to the dealer to get their oil. And that's why the wise ones have extra, because it just comes in and in and in and you're like, okay, well, start putting this in jugs. And the unwise ones have to keep going to the dealer, or they run out, because they don't have a continuous supply. So then we have the very next parable is about the bags of gold. Okay, so remember Psalm 19, he talks about all this basically oil and what it is, and says it's more precious than gold, pure gold. Well, oil and gold are yellow, so there's that connection. You know how that is in Hebrew. So anyway, this is what happened. The one with 5 talents of gold invested it and got 5 more. And then there was another one who had 2, and he invested it and got 4. And the one who had 1 was too afraid to invest it and was called wicked. And that was taken away. See, now I get it. So it's making me emotional. Okay, so he kind of tells it in the reverse order. When we said, let's discover what is really going on here? And we started letting go of what we were told because we decided, I can't live like this anymore. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. And we got one talent of gold. We got the Baphomet is God. And we had to decide, do we invest this and keep going and hope for a return? Or do we bury it and say, we never found that? Because, what? Baphomet? Oh, no. Because if we'd done that, we wouldn't have gotten more. So we invested it, and we started with one and ended up with two. And we're like, this is going faster. This is getting easier. And then we took our two and we invested that and got four. Well, we weren't stopping then. We were on a roll. So now we have so much gold, so much oil. It's the same thing. I mean, we kept doubling down, and that's what they did. They doubled down. They put it all on the line and got it all doubled, and doubled. So the extra oil jugs are like totes full of oil and gold. Buy your gold from me. Don't go to the dealers. So there's Psalm 19 with the commands and Ahav being pay attention to the shaman of above. Ahav, love me and keep my commands. So Psalm 19 truly explains both of those parables, and probably more than that, probably all of them, because that's the nature of the kingdom within, so that you're in the world, not of it, and renewing your mind. We all come in only hearing the symphony of above, and then we're taught the dirge of below, and now we've got a mess, and we have to renew our minds to be receptive to the above only. Be aware of the dirge, but not subject to it. Okay, I hope that was helpful, because it's helpful for me to say it out loud. It's pretty intense. This is awesome. Okay. Love you. Shalom.